Hey guys, so everybody knows that M Night Shyamalan can be very hit and miss. He's famous or infamous for it. And some of his movies, when he is at his best, like The Visit, Split, Signs, they're all so good. But when he's not at his best, they tend to be really hard flops, like Knock at the Cabin. So I went into this hoping for the best. I really thought that I would end up loving this based on the trailers, but unfortunately, I'm not going to say it's a miss because I really did like the first and second act. I feel like this movie had so much potential. It just didn't stick the landing in the third act, but I don't want to be that harsh to say that it's not worth seeing. I still think it's a good time. Go see it in the cinema. I think it's worth it, but just have your expectations maybe a little bit lowered that the ending isn't going to be what probably a lot of people want it to be. So this movie is about a dad and his teenage daughter who go to a concert only to realize that they are at the center of a dark and sinister plot. So straight away I thought that was quite a unique concept to have a horror thriller movie set at a concert, and we're actually getting another one this year. I think it's coming out around the spooky season. Smile 2, that's going to be a horror movie set at a concert as well. And I feel like there's something so sinister about a huge jam-packed stadium concert because everybody is so hyper, there's so much energy, and it can be such a great thing. But like, imagine if there was something that went on that was really dangerous. There would be so many people that nobody would notice. Like, it's like the beginning of Scream 2 when they're in that crowded cinema and the woman gets stabbed because everybody's so focused on watching the stage, watching the screen. Anything could happen in that dark auditorium. So immediately that premise had me hooked. So it's a setting that I thought was really effective and added a lot of energy to the movie. So Josh Hartnett is back. Like, he hasn't really gone away. He's been in things, but I haven't actually seen him in anything in a very long time. I think the movie I like most with him in it is The Faculty. I feel like that is such a 90s gem of a movie that so many people don't appreciate fully. Like, it should be up there with Scream. Okay, maybe that's going a little too far, but it should be right underneath that level. Like, it's a really good movie. And it's good to see him back in a role that isn't sort of that goofy type role. I don't know, that's the only role I've seen Josh Hartnett play, that high school student type role. And in this movie, he is obviously a serial killer. He's going to be creepy and menacing. And look, on one hand, I actually do really enjoy his performance. I know he is a really good actor, so I don't want to sound like I'm attacking him as an actor, but I know he could have done better. I felt like he went a little bit too Patrick Bateman, American Psycho in this role. It was a little too over the top. But I feel like that wasn't on him. I feel like it was probably the director telling him to act that way. So I guess I can give him a pass. His wife, I don't know the name of the actress, but she's a pretty decent actress. I only really know her from American Horror Story, the season Cult. The daughter, she did a good job. She was a good actress. But the main problem I had was M Night Shyamalan's daughter. So she wasn't a bad actress, but I don't feel like she was a strong enough actress to have such a major part of this movie. And I don't want to be someone who calls out nepotism, but come on, she's M Night Shyamalan's daughter, and look, I just don't see her getting a role like this without some major help. And she was just such a focus of the movie, and it took me out of it a bit because seeing her and Josh Hartnett in a scene together was quite jarring because she couldn't act at his level. So there was this back and forth where he was giving and she just wasn't giving back. Just her character, the way that it was written, like, it felt like a bit out of character for a celebrity to act the way that she does. I'm not saying that all celebrities are bad people and that there aren't kind celebrities, but she is so like a saint basically in this movie. She goes out of her way to save this guy that the butcher has basically held captive and says, if you don't do what I want you to do, this guy is gonna die. So she puts herself alone with him in a life and death situation to save someone she doesn't know. And look, maybe I'm just too nihilistic, but I really don't think a lot of people wouldn't be that self-sacrificing, that sacrificial to do that unless it was for someone who, let's be honest, was a family member or someone they really cared about. But she goes so out of her way in this movie, and it just didn't really feel that realistic. And obviously, because it's at her concert, she gets a lot of screen time singing, and in real life she is an aspiring singer. Well, she is a singer. And it just feels like this whole movie was almost made so that M. Night can promote his daughter's career. And the focus was definitely on that, not on promoting a well-crafted story. And I feel like she was the focus almost more than the actual butcher. So the dialogue was awkward at times, and it didn't feel intentional. It felt like they needed to go in for a rewrite somewhere along the line. I'm quite surprised that some of the dialogue actually made its way past all the people who must have seen the script to get it to the finished product of the movie, especially in the third act. This guy, this serial killer, the butcher, is portrayed as this really clever, highly intelligent, organized criminal, and yet the way he acts in the third part, like, this pop star, Lady Raven, has gone to the butcher's house to try to basically help save people and get him caught. And she grabs the butcher's phone and runs into the bathroom. And at that point, you pretty much know the jig is up. He's done. His family is going to find out at that point. And he, like, calmly, he's still trying to obviously keep up the appearance of being a normal guy, and he sort of just says, hey, can I get my phone back? As she runs into the bathroom and locks herself into the bathroom. And come on, at this point, the butcher, as he's portrayed as being in the first and second act, would have definitely just charged in there and got his phone back. Like, let's be real, it just felt like the writing was a little weird. She gives this performance on the piano in the third act that felt really out of place, once again promoting her as a singer in this tense sort of showdown scene, which should have been focused on the family and their dynamic. Instead, it was focused on her. Okay, on to some good. There is a mid-credit scene that was really funny. It had me laughing out loud, so stay for that. The tension was good throughout the movie. I really enjoyed watching the butcher play his cat and mouse games with the profilers, who were basically like the Criminal Minds team. And that was really interesting to see him outsmart them at every turn. So now let's finally talk about the twist, the big classic M. Night Shyamalan, I've been a ghost all along twist. There is none. That's it. There's no twist. Like, there's little reveals, like the wife was onto him apparently, and like sets it up so that the FBI are at the concert because she followed him and found a concert ticket to the Lady Raven concert and left that for the police or something along those lines. She basically sort of knew what he was up to but wasn't 100% sure, and I feel like there were better ways of knowing for sure before sticking the FBI onto your husband. Like, obviously you're not going to just confront a possible serial killer like and say, hey husband, do you kill people in your spare time when you're not golfing? Yeah, obviously not, but there are other ways she could have gone about it. She could have followed him a bit more until she knew 100%. And it just felt like such a weak reveal that it can't have been the twist. There was nothing. Like, he gets away at the end. We see him in the car. He's picking his lock in the police vehicle and gets away, obviously. And yeah, I don't think they're setting it up for a sequel. I just think they're trying to show us how smart he is, even though he acted really stupid in the third act. And then at times it was like he was too smart. Like, he just kept getting away in these impossible situations. Like, there was Lady Raven and her limo, and he was in it pretending to be the driver. and they were swamped by her fans, and it was like her status as a celebrity protected her a lot in this movie. It was like plot armor, and both of them just kept getting away, and it just didn't feel realistic. I actually thought at one point that Lady Raven was going to be revealed as being his partner, but obviously they're trying to portray her as this nice person, so they're not going to do that, but that would have been interesting. So yeah, I feel like it just was a huge letdown, because you've come to expect it from an M. Night movie, and maybe that was the twist, that there was no twist. It was all laid out there. And I feel like they should have kept it a secret that Josh Hartnett's character was the serial killer, because that would have been a pretty amazing twist, but at the same time it would have been fairly obvious, I guess. It would have had to be revealed fairly early in the movie, but still there should have been some other twist there. The main thing with this movie is it had such potential. If it had just fixed a few things in the third act and a few other things with the over-the-top acting, it could have been a really great movie. So I'm still going to give it a 7 out of 10 because I did still enjoy it. I was never bored. I would still say it's worth seeing in the cinema. Just don't go into it expecting some big twist. Take it at face value because that's what you're going to get. So let me know what you guys thought of it down below. Please like, comment, subscribe, all of that YouTube stuff. Thank you.